Hi, welcome back to Charlie's Nail Art Supplies channel. I'm Jo, if you don't already know, and I'm one of Charlie's brand ambassadors. Today we are going to cover decals, water decals. I'm just going to go through what I do when I apply a decal, and I'm hoping that you find it quite easy too. So we're going to need scissors. So Charlie sent me this pack of decals to do, but I've also pulled out of my own stash this one, which I've already used a piece of, and a full cover decal. So I think we'll do this one first. Okay, when you get your decal and you've taken it out of its wrapping, you will see on the back it's going to be plain. On the front it's going to have a, if I turn it to the side in a second, cellophane wrapper on the front. Okay, my advice would be take it off, because I can tell you now, once these go in the water, if you forget that is on, you've got no chance of getting it off. So I would take it off, but make sure you keep it, because if you don't use all of your decal sheet, you're going to need to store it, and it's going to need to be just put back on the front, because what you don't want to do is put them away without it, and then these, even though they're not sticky, they will eventually stick to wherever you're keeping them. So my advice would be to make sure you take that off first, then keep it. Don't throw it away, whatever you do. Next up, what I would do is, majority of decals go on a white background. So I have actually prepped 3 nails and I've done 2 with white backgrounds, but I'm also going to show you putting something on a coloured background as well. So because we're going to do this one first, I've just got to decide which one I might want to use, and I think I'm going to use these 2 paw prints at the bottom. So when you cut your decal out, on these, if you turn them slightly towards the light, you might not see it, not how I can, but to the outside of the image you will see a very shiny piece, what the image is on. The rest of it is a matte background on here. So just sort of cut as close as you can to the image, but not, you don't need to get right the way around the edge of it. As you can see, I've done that fairly wide around that one. Shall we have, but I don't want to use the paw prints on that one, I want this one. I think we're going to go for this one. So that is my 2 images used from that one, and then I'll pop the wrapper back on it, and then it will go back in the bag. So at least you know it's all safe, it's not going to transfer onto something it shouldn't. Okay, next up, oh, I don't need those scissors at the moment, let's get rid of those. I've just got a little shallow dish, okay, and I've got some water in a spray bottle. I'm not going to spray it because it goes everywhere. I'm just going to tip a small amount onto there, and then I'm going to use my little tweezers so I don't get my hands soaking wet, and then we're just going to drop these in. They're very much like, do you remember the old transfers we used to have as kids, where you used to have to pop them on your skin and then put some water on the back? Exactly the same, you know, theory as doing that, but you're actually just putting them into a dish. What I tend to do is I do flick them over once, and then I will flick it back, just so we make sure that, I can see a hair, just so we make sure that decal is definitely in there. You want to leave them in there about 20 to 30 seconds, and then they should pop off fairly easily. We're going to use a white background on this one. So while that is doing what it needs to be doing, I've pulled out some Model 1's base coat. You can use any base coat you want. It doesn't have to be Model 1's, it can be entirely up to you what you use. So any make. What I'm going to do is pop a coat of base coat over that. Now remember, all different techs do it all different ways. This is my way of showing you what I do. Okay, and then what we're going to do is pick that up. I'm going to give it a little bit of a dry off on that towel, and if you look, I didn't even have to slide it, it came straight off. Okay, and then I am just going to place that, if it'll stick. Stay there, you little blighter. Okay. The reason why you put the base coat down is because it is nice and easy to slide around. I'm going to put that at a slight angle so it's pointing off. Okay, same again, just give it a quick dab, and then I push my thumb and finger together so it slides off. And place that one down. Now if you've got gloves on, you can probably pat it down with your finger. I tend to do it with a tool. Just make sure it's where you want it to be. I'll bring it down slightly. I do apologise, Richard is cooking tea and it sounds like he's just dropped a pan. Right, we're going to pop that into the lamp to cure. So that's that one in and done. Right, next one. I'm actually going to show you this on this yellow tip. Okay, same again, it has the clear cover. We are going to cut out, let's see, shall we go for these little Easter egg things down here first? Pop that in there, and then I think we need a nice Easter egg, maybe that one there. Pop that one in. Okay, same again, make sure you put your wrapper in front of that. And actually, while those are soaking, I'm going to pull the other one back out the lamp. Okay, so once that's dry, we are going to just pop some top coat over. Now you can matte top coat. You don't have to do shiny top coat. Pop that in the lamp. I can show you a matte. That is a matte nail that I did earlier. So it's a full cover, like as in full, and I've just put some matte top coat over it. So I'm really pleased with that. Right, grab some base coat quickly again. Pop some on. You don't need a load of base coat. I would scrape it off slightly, which I did do then. Now this was the one we did first, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a... Okay. Now I'm actually going to put this down along that bottom edge. So it's along the free edge. And then I won't cut the edges off yet. I'm going to leave it like that. Give that a little bit of a dry off. Same again, push it off. And then we're going to pop that one on there. So as you can see, this one has moved. So because of when I picked it up, we're just going to move it back down again. Pull that one back out and pop that one in. Okay, so that one is completely finished. Nice and smooth, no rough bits on it. Move those over there. Right, your full water decal. Sort of hazard a guess at how big your nail is going to be, because don't forget it's going to go down the sides. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to cut the end off. I've already took the plastic wrapper off this. You would have to obviously replace your plastic wrapper before you put it away. What I'm going to do as well is I am actually going to get rid of those white borders. You don't have to cut them off. I'm just being picky and getting them off now. Okay, and then we're going to pop that in the water. Now obviously this one is, as you can see, takes a little bit more water, so I'm actually going to hold it down for a little bit, because as soon as they hit the water they curl up anyway. So while I'm waiting for that, I am going to put base coat across there. So we are putting this one on a white background. You can play around with backgrounds. It doesn't have to be white. You know, it's not steadfast and a law that it's got to be white. If it specifically says on a decal it has to be white, then obviously, yes, some companies do them on white backgrounds only. So as you can see, it slides off pretty easy. I'm just going to drag that across there, make sure there's no big blobs of water, and then we are going to place that across there. And because we've put the base coat on, we can maneuver it around where we want it. I'm going to just use my finger on that. Now what I would do if I'm doing a full cover like this, obviously I'm going to pat down the middle to make sure it's there, but if you look, you're going to end up with a few creases. Okay, now you can stretch the decal slightly so that, let me move that out of the way because I don't want to drop it in that, so that it is quite taut across the nail. The other option you can do as well is just put a little snip in your decal. Obviously if there's an image, don't snip into your image. Okay, so I did a snip at the top there, and I've just done a snip down the bottom here. Don't think I did that one big enough though. Let's go back in. That's better. Okay. And as you can see, it will sit nice and flush on the nail. Okay, same this side, we're going to snip. I really need some small scissors. It is much more handleable if you use tiny scissors, you know, like the nail scissors, what you can get. Okay, so once that is all down and patted down, I'm just going to pop that into the lamp as it is. Pop that in there. Right, this one obviously has been in the lamp, so what we're going to do, actually I've got a little pair of nail scissors. I'm just going to grab this, super duper, these are ideal. So snip as close as you can to that nail, and then the other side we'll snip off. Okay, and then we want some top coat to seal that in. Very important to top coat. Those images won't move anywhere once you've got them into that base coat and it's been cured. Make sure you go right the way down the edges and cap the free edge if you've put a decal right on the edge of a nail. Roll that one out and pop that one in. And next up, we're going to do the same with this one. So we're going to go down the sides as close as we can to that nail. Just going to rip that off to get rid of that big bit. Okay, and then same with this one, we're going to top coat. I think I always like to top coat first, and then if I'm going to matte top coat them, I will matte top coat them after. I won't do matte top coat straight on. So we're going to do that one and pop that one in. I'll grab the other one out now. And let me move that water right out of the way. The one thing you can do, manoeuvre those, is get yourself a little 240 file, and anywhere you've got one on the edge, you could actually just take your file across it. Just make sure there's nothing along the edge. If you find that you do really chop into the sides, if you're a little bit heavy handed, I've not, there's, you know, still top coat there that I can see, but if you find you're a little bit heavy handed, you can then re-top coat after you've done what I've just done with the file. What I'm going to do now quickly, just to show you, with this yellow one, I'm actually going to matte top coat it so you can actually see that it can be done. I'm going to pop that in. Okay, that one is out. So once again, we're going to go around the nail. Might help if I do it the right side. Just with a 240 file, and then that one is all done, top coated. And there's that one. So as you can see, it comes out nice and clean. It almost looks like it's either been stamped on or painted on. They're just seamless when you do that. But there is all of them. So hopefully that's given you a little insight into what to do with water decals. Yeah, so I hope that's helped. If you go onto Charlie's Nail Art on the website, you can use this code for 10% off. You can use that anytime and every time you go on there. And if you ever need any help or you want to ask a question about something, please by all means go onto our support group, and all the ambassadors are on there and Charlie is, so one of us will answer you. If not, ask below, and I will answer as best as I can. If not, then Charlie will be on to answer you. I hope that's been helpful anyway. Please do consider subscribing if you've not already, and I would love it if you'd give the video a thumbs up, and I would be even more chuffed if you shared it, because we're trying to grow the channel. And I hope I see you next time. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.